Mark Rogers TV with a little SEC hazing over the weekend. First, Georgia, Missouri, and Columbia, Missouri. Party-like atmosphere Saturday night. Their big splash into the SEC. Conference Commissioner Mike Slive on hand, and he saw Missouri defense dominate the first half. The offense finally got it cranked up. Mizzou led it 17-9, and pretty late in the game, with about 15 minutes left, 20-17. But then those SEC athletes came at the Missouri Tigers in waves on defense. The tenacity, the speed, and Georgia took over for a 41-20 win. Junior linebacker Jarvis Jones, just like the SEC classic type defender that we see littered all over NFL draft boards each April, made the big plays when it counted. With the game still closing on the line, stepped back into coverage, picked off a pass, ran it down to the 1-yard line, and then on the very next Missouri series, on a 3rd and 2, forced a fumble on a sack and sealed the victory. Georgia wins it 41-20. Mizzou belongs. It looks like it belongs at this point at least. They're competitive. They played a very good first half, rattled quarterback Aaron Murray in the first half, and held down Georgia's leading rusher Todd Gurley to 9 carries and 21 yards outside of a 44-yard dash, but Georgia wins this one, going away 41-20. Texas A&M and Florida. Much like the Georgia-Mizzou game, the home team and the SEC newcomer, Texas A&M, came out fired up on defense, played really well on offense, executed well, 269 yards of offense, 19 first-half first downs for A&M. Florida was down 17-7, so A&M, like Mizzou, goes up 17-7, 17-9, and then Florida took over in the second half. What really hurt A&M in this game was that they had that 7-point lead close to halftime, driving again. They got a sack and a penalty, took points off the board, the scoring opportunity squelched, and Florida went into the halftime with a bit of momentum and just trailing 17-10. Mike Gillislee ran for 83 yards, tough yards between the tackles for Florida, and the Florida defense completely dominated the second half. And again, the athleticism and the speed and a tenacious Florida defense, something we haven't seen in the last few years, took over in the second half. 2 first downs for A&M in the second half after, like we said, 19 in the first half. Just 65 total yards for A&M as Florida took this game over and won it 20-17. So what do we see out of Mizzou and A&M? Well, SEC fans, diehard fans, you've got to be happy. Sure, Missouri and A&M are officially part of the SEC, but that's a couple wins for the old guard, and you've got to be happy knowing that the league didn't need Mizzou and A&M to gain that upgrade. The old SEC was doing just fine. So A&M and Mizzou look respectable. They were both at home. The sledding's going to be tough, certainly, on the road for these two programs. Expect 3-5 or 4-4. They're going to be competitive, but they will not contend in the SEC. And 2 things to look out for. Something that we saw on Saturday. Both teams wore down in the second half, and particularly in the fourth quarter. And how about the last couple games of the season? Once they've gotten 6-7 SEC conference games under their belts, will these teams wear down and get beaten down in the last few games of the season? Would love to hear from you on Missouri and Texas A&M, certainly. Also Georgia and Florida and the rest of the conference slate in the SEC on Mark Rogers TV.